From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, June 3rd, 2016. Silver is trading at $16.12 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,214 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $555. Antiwar.com reports just days after pro-Saudi forces claim to have seized significant territory in the Marib and Shabwa provinces in central Yemen in intense fighting that killed at least 69 people last week. The new reports out of the area suggest that the Shiite Houthis have recovered all that lost ground in the last 3 days. Last week's push by pro-Saudi forces was one of the first major ground offensives since the April ceasefire was announced, though fighting had been ongoing intermittently throughout that period and airstrikes were common. The counteroffensive appears to have reversed all the gains, and another 85 fighters were reported slain in the 3-day push. This has been a common recurrence throughout the 15-month Saudi war in Yemen, with both sides split along the nation's historical north-south divide and often briefly trading control of the areas in between to little effect. President Hadi, the nominal leader of the pro-Saudi forces, appeared to blame the Saudi Air Force for the recent losses, saying the troops had no choice but to retreat because of a lack of air support. The Saudi coalition has been pounding Yemen throughout the war and is under growing attack for the huge civilian toll of its airstrikes. FPP Radio News is brought to you by Bitcoin Not Bombs. Bitcoin Not Bombs is a launching pad for nonprofits and social entrepreneurs into the financial freedom of the Bitcoin economy. Bitcoin Not Bombs is fully committed to being the hub of the nonprofit sector of the Bitcoin economy, maximizing the potential cross-promotion of all our clients and commercial partners. To learn more, visit bitcoinnotbombs.com. UPI reports a water provider in northern Alabama warned more than 100,000 customers on Thursday not to drink or cook with tap water, saying it could be contaminated with potentially dangerous levels of a chemical that federal health officials have linked to cancer, according to local media reports. The warning, issued by the West Morgan East Lawrence Water Authority, 40 miles south of Alabama's border with Tennessee, comes after the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency issued an advisory on May 19th that lowered the safe level for compounds known as PFOA and PFOS in drinking water. The man-made compounds can be found in non-stick cookware, waterproof clothing, carpet sealants, and firefighting foams, according to the Alabama Department of Environmental Management, which is monitoring the situation. Direct exposure to unsafe levels of the chemicals could result in developmental deficiencies, including skeletal variation and low birth weights in fetuses and breastfed infants, according to the EPA advisory. The chemicals could also cause cancer, liver and thyroid damage, and problems with the immune system. In a news conference, the Water Authority's General Manager, Don Sims, said the board on Thursday accepted his recommendation to warn residents not to use the water. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports Republican National Committee Chairman Reince Priebus said David French, the conservative writer who is considering mounting a minor party presidential campaign, is on a suicide mission. Priebus said Thursday on Hugh Hewitt's radio show, "Look, I don't want to say anything disparaging against the guy because I don't know him, and I'm sure he's a good person, but I think it's also just this sort of suicide mission and a huge distraction. I don't see it going anywhere. I think it's sort of silly, to tell the truth. I have to say I think the people involved with it are embarrassing themselves." French has been touted by Bill Kristol, the editor of the Weekly Standard, who has fashioned himself as the leader of the Never Trump group of neoconservatives and old guard Republicans who remain steadfastly opposed to Trump as the Republican nominee. Earlier this week, Kristol tweeted that he had recruited an impressive candidate with a strong team and a real chance to win as an independent. When it became clear French was the man, many in the Washington establishment asked the obvious first question: David, who? French is an Iraq War veteran, a graduate of Harvard Law School, a constitutional law professor, and a staff writer for National Review magazine. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.